All right, so we're just going to talk about some pre and post workout nutrition tips. All right, nothing too over the top, but just kind of hopefully this segment can give you a little bit. Hi, Minette. Hopefully this segment can give you a little bit more of an idea of what to have before you work out as well as after you work out. Alrighty, so without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about pre-workout stuff first. So the first thing I want to bring up is like the pre-workout cocktails, like on those drinks you can get. Like you can, I don't know if you guys and gals have heard of C4, Bang. They're great products. They sell really well. They advertise really well, but ideally you don't try to stay away from those because they do have a good amount of just things our body doesn't really necessarily digest well. So it's not out of the ordinary to have those and have indigestion or an upset stomach or peculiar bowel movements after the fact that after you consume them. I think I tried C4 once, and I was just like, my body was super amped up, and the high amount of, I think, taurine that's in it, it really did increase my blood pressure significantly. Yeah, C makes you itchy. Kristen, that's like you're not alone with that. Yeah, C, people have stated that it makes them itchy. A lot of, which is weird, right? Like you kind of don't try to stay away from something that you consume that will make you feel itchy, because it really does make our nervous system makes our nervous system like amplified, like the effects of it. So that's where those side effects can occur. And ideally, do you want to feel itchy when you consume nothing? I mean, I don't, but I'll speak for myself. Okay, so try to stay away from those. They are convincing. They have great advertisement, but food is where you want to get it from. Food and fluids. All right, so when it comes to pre-workouts, you want to have a good amount of free, easily accessible energy. Okay, and you're going to get that easily accessible energy from what's called glucose. Okay, sugars that are found easily in our body. That's in our in our blood, as well as stored in our liver and our muscles. Okay, and you're going to get that from foods that have carbohydrates. Okay, yeah, I mean, we don't want to feel itchy. Jazzy Squad, no itchiness. Alrighty, so again, we want to get stuff. We want to have easily accessible energy. We're going to get that from high carbohydrate foods. Okay, you're going to get that from your fruits. Okay, you're going to get that from granola bars, chocolate and dark chocolate, milk. All right, some nuts. Those are some good pre-workout snacks you can have. Some cottage cheese and fruit is a good idea. Okay, I have that here. So cottage cheese and fruit is a good little snack to have before you work out. Or if you don't want cottage cheese, you can have some Greek yogurt. Itchy no bueno, that's right. You can have some oatmeal and peanut butter, which is a good little snack beforehand. All right, you'll get a good amount of carbohydrates and unsaturated fats from the peanut butter. That'll fuel you before you work out. All right, so give me 1 sec. I gotta get my nuts. No pun intended there. There's always something I forget. I apologize. All right, so I got my milk here. Got my nuts. Bada bing, bada boom team. All right, nuts are a good little snack to give you sustainable energy through a long workout. All right, so that's why I recommend that for my clients. Just having like maybe a handful of nuts, maybe an hour beforehand or 30 minutes before you work out, can fuel you through a good, long, sustainable workout. All right, so and you'll get some what's called unsaturated fats, those easily accessible fats after you go through your glucose stores from things like nuts. Another good option is avocados too. Avocados is a good place to get some unsaturated fats to fuel you for a long workout. Let's say you're running, let's say you're doing a switch it up class, having some unsaturated fats in your digestive tract, as well as some easily accessible glucose is ideal. So Kristen, any specific kind of nuts? I would say go for almonds, go for cashews. What's up, Nons? Go for almonds, go for cashews, go for walnuts. But pretty much any type of nut is going to give you that unsaturated fats that you may need. So yeah, if you want to have like a trail mix, that's good too, because trail mixes, companies will have nuts with some like dark chocolate in it, and that's a really good snack to have beforehand. I appreciate it. Nice and clean, right, Nons? Yeah, so Minette, good question. What do I take on my hikes? What I'll do with my hikes, I'll have like a couple bananas with me. I'll have a couple bags of nuts, and then I'll also have some string cheese. String cheese is, to get some of that protein that I'm breaking down during the hike. But, when it comes to pre-workouts, we don't want to overload ourselves with protein. That's more of a post-workout type of concept, okay? So yeah, a whole fruit. Get a whole fruit. Whole fruits meaning, banana and apple, oranges. You can have a bag of berries too. That's a really good little snack for pre-workout. Okay. So yeah, and then another thing too is we have most of us are really busy throughout the day. If you need a little bit of boost, companies or we were talking about C4 and Bang earlier, right? They'll have a good amount of caffeine in their drinks. So if you need a little bit of a boost, before your workout, so having some coffee is okay, but we don't want to have too much of coffee, right? So if you're gonna have coffee, not have an espresso, have like an actual cup, so there's a good amount of water to balance out the caffeine, so you're not too dehydrated, because we all know that caffeine is a diuretic. And yeah, so if you're gonna have some coffee, please have some good amount of water to balance out that caffeine. Yeah, that's right, Hav. It's good. Hav is gonna need his own nut harvester Sherpa while he's going up on his Mount Everest hike. So yeah, to conclude, just to finalize, the pre-workout, there's two more concepts I want to bring up. Okay, so granola bars are okay. Granola bars are okay for some pre-workout options. Okay, so if you feel like let's say you're working out at 5 p.m. and the last meal you had was lunch at around noon or 1, you want to make sure you have something in your system that has easily accessible energy. Okay, so that's where you want to get that glucose, those carbohydrates, right? I've had a good amount of clients that before the pandemic, they'll go to work and they'll have their meal, but then they'll come train they'll have their lunch at noon or 1, and then they'll come train with me at 6 or 7, and they might get a little lightheaded, and some have even been close to passing out. And then I'll ask them hey, when's the last meal you had? When they get their mind back and they're a little bit more stable, and they're oh yeah, it's been 5 or 6 hours. So I'll immediately give them some Gatorade or some chocolate to get that glucose in their system, and they're back at it. So when it comes to the only caveat I have with granola bars is you want to try to get stuff that isn't too high in added sugars. All right, so Hog knows about this. Kind bars, right? Kind bars are a good option for having it right before a workout. I don't know if you guys have seen RX bars. RX bars are a good option to have. They'll put dates in here. They'll put peanuts in here. Some egg whites, so you'll get that protein. But yeah, so this one, the total sugars in this bar is 14, but it's not added sugars, right? It's coming from the dates. So that's going to be easily accessible energy from that fruit that you can utilize during your workouts. All right, team. So most importantly, just make sure you have balanced meals throughout the day. And if you feel if you're going to work out and you feel like you haven't had something in a while, just have one of these snacks that we were discussing. Okay, an hour to 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, so you'll have that energy for our workouts. Nons, you gotta come to Twitch it up and start developing stronger wrists, you know, like the rest of the Jazzy squad. So yeah, dark chocolate, if you're gonna go with dark chocolate, go for like 60% or 72% cacao. Okay, dark chocolate's a really good pre-workout snack that I have, that I like to have. You know, dark chocolate has a good amount of sugar in it that I'll utilize through the workout, but it has a lot of good has a good amount of unsaturated fats for me to use as well for longer workouts. Nons, by the way, Hoff says hello in Twitch. Thanks, Nons. I appreciate you. All right, team. So again, you know, if you're gonna go with cottage cheese, go for some like low fat or fat free cottage cheese, and then make sure you throw in some type of nuts or fruit in there so you have that energy for working out. Okay, team. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat more about pre-workout stuff, and then let's talk about post-workout stuff. Okay, so when it comes to post-workout, the best thing we can do is have a meal afterwards. All right. So the meals that we've done during these Wellness Wednesday segments, those are all great options to have after working out. But sometimes we'll work out in the morning before work. We'll do it in between, you know, our lunch, or maybe right after our lunch, and then go back to work. But we want to make sure that we have some type of meal or you know, some nutrients after we work out. We want to rebuild the muscle that we broke down during our workouts, and we want to restock our easily accessible energy, that glucose that's found in our muscles and in our liver. Okay, and you're going to get that from, you know, lean protein, those lean proteins like we discussed, you know, the beans, the tofu, chicken, fish, 90% or more fat-free red meat. Okay, so if you're going to go for red meat or pork, you know, most of you know that I kind of stay away from that, and that's my personal choice. But if you want those red meats and that pork, try to go for 90% fat-free when you have those meals. All right. When you have a night to complement the lean protein, make sure you have some, you know, vegetables. You know, I like to go for like those cruciferous vegetables that we discussed during our Wellness Wednesday cooking segments. All right, cruciferous vegetables, meaning broccoli, right? Broccoli is a good one. Okay, spinach, like we discussed. Kale, I know kale is a little tough to go down sometimes, but kale is very, 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 it's a superfood. Kale is, and then spinach is powerful as well. So is broccoli. Some cauliflower if you want to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, so make sure you complement your lean protein with some veggies so you can so it helps with the digestive process of the protein that you take in. Okay, and another big thing that kind of is overlooked is water. Okay, water is going to lubricate. It's going to lubricate our digestive tract so we can absorb those nutrients a little bit more efficiently. All right, so fiber, that water, and that lean protein is very, 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 very important to have after our workouts. Okay. Optimal water intake, Minette. That's a good question. You know, if you are exercising, you're going to need a little bit more. You're going to need a little bit more throughout the day. You know, the universal number is about 8 glasses of water, right? And I believe that's 72 fluid ounces if I have my math correct. Just try to drink as much. Try to drink as much as you can. You know, I know it can be a little bit. What's up, Sunil? What up, boy? I know it can be a little bit frustrating if we're consuming a lot of liquid. We have to go to the bathroom a lot, but that's good. That's a good thing. Okay, my mom has that issue where she, you know, is apprehensive about going to the bathroom, but it's better to be going to the bathroom more than it is to be dehydrated. Okay, so try to aim for, you know, those 8 glasses a day. I usually suggest 8 to 12 glasses. Okay, so a couple liters throughout the day is very, very vital, especially with you, Minette, being so much of a boss. Yeah, you do, Sunil. Yeah, you do, bro. Come in Twitch. Come join the rest of us in Twitch. That's good. I mean, Kristen, that's your body, like we talked about, right? That's your body responding to what it's used to, right? If you get less than a gallon, it's your body pretty much cravings, but you're craving, it's craving for that water, right? Sorry, everyone, light's a little wonky right here. So yeah, make sure just more water, pound the water. If you feel like you haven't drank enough water throughout the day, just have some more. Okay, your body's very efficient at filtering it out. If your fluid levels in your body are balanced and a-okay, your kidney's gonna let you know, and it's gonna take that out. Thanks, Sunil. Good. That's good. I'm glad that your students are helping you, Kristen, on your health management. All right, team. Sorry I rambled about the meals. Okay, so if you don't have access, let's say you work out and you need to go to work or something, so that's when you can bring in that protein shake or the snacks that we were talking about that are a little bit higher on the protein side. Okay. Snacks that are a little bit higher on the protein side are those protein bars, okay? Protein, like we'll talk a little bit about protein shakes, but one of the protein bars I actually highly suggest is, I don't know if you guys have seen this Lenny and Larry's cookie thing. I know it's a cookie, but it contains a good amount of soy protein. I believe it's around like 30 grams. Let me see. Actually, my apologies. It's about 16 grams of protein in this full cookie. It can be a little bit, aggressive if you have the whole thing, but you can easily break it up. So 8 grams of protein is better than none. All right, so that's a good option. The one caveat I want to bring up when it comes to protein bars is the bars like Cliff Bars. Okay, Cliff Bars they're essentially glorified candy bars. I don't know if you, I was actually about to buy one so I could show you guys, but I wouldn't eat it, to be honest, so it kind of go to waste. So that's why I didn't buy it. But Cliff Bars, they have, I think around 9 or 10 grams of protein in it, but they also have about, 20 grams of sugar, okay? And most of it is added. So not too ideal, all right? Not too ideal to have after, you're going to need that glucose to be refueled into the body, but you're going to get that easily from your vegetables. You're going to get that from the whole grains you have in your meals. Okay, so we want to limit that added sugars, as much as possible so we don't overdo it, right? All right, team. So couple last things I want to leave you with. Okay, 2 things that are, I'm sure, coming up in discussion when it comes to post-workout stuff. Okay, creatine, as well as branched chain amino acids. Okay, so this is just kind of like a fun fact type of discussion here. If you have any questions about those 2 options, let me know in the chat. All right, so let's first talk about creatine. Creatine is definitely prevalent in the fitness industry, and it's very prevalent in bodybuilders promoting it and stuff. So through just my own research and through my own experiences, I actually haven't done creatine myself. But the first thing I want to say about creatine is that our body naturally actually makes it. Okay, our body actually makes creatine itself. So, in my, with my just experiences and with my education, I just found that it's best to allow your body's mechanisms to create, if your body creates something on its own and you bring in an artificial substance that creates more of it, it's going to obviously elevate it, right? And creatine is, promoted as like, oh, you'll gain more muscle mass, you'll gain, you'll retain a little bit more water in the muscles, so you look bigger. And while that's true, I just have the caveat of like, do you want to bring in something that your body already naturally produces? Because the thing is if you bring more of it, your body's going to get at kind of like a level that it understands, right? It's going to get comfortable with it's going to get used to and plateau at the amounts that you bring in of the added stuff. So we want to just, again, I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but we want to allow our body just to make it on its own. That's my educated conclusion for that. Creatine, there needs to be a lot more research done on it, on the benefits of it. But for the most part, creatine supplements are fine to an extent. Okay, to an extent, and that's why I have that asterisk there, to an extent, because the FDA does not regulate supplements, so companies can like pump it. They can add a good amount in the servings that can kind of manipulate our own body's mechanism to a point that could potentially be detrimental. Okay, sorry for the ramble, but I just wanted to bring that up in case you had any questions about creatine. Okay, and then lastly, branched chain amino acids, team. Branched chain amino acids are what's called essential amino acids. Our body cannot naturally produce it, and there are, I believe, 9 of those amino acids that are essential, and 3 of them, isoleucine, leucine, and valine, our body cannot produce it on its own. So that's where we need to get it from food and from our nutrition. Okay, so like when we did the protein shakes a few months ago, we talked about whey protein versus casein protein. Both of those are going to have all those branched chain amino acids in there to help with muscle repair and to rebuild the muscle to make it bigger after you do a heavy bout of resistance training. Okay, so branched chain amino acids, you're going to get that from your protein shakes, and you're going to get that from any type, like pretty much all of the animal-based proteins. With beans and tofu, the plant-based stuff. Some of those plant-based proteins don't have all of the amino acids, so that's why when it comes to vegetarianism and veganism, it's encouraged to have a nice wide array of those plant-based proteins so you can get those branched chain amino acids so for muscle repair. All right, squad? I know that was a lot of info. I was rambling a lot, but it's stuff that I love and I teach, and help people understand more. So I'm in that supplements that are good. For me, I'm very much I'm the dietitian that's very much get it from your food, get it from your liquids. So if you can get the vitamins and minerals and the protein and the fish oil is another supplement. If you can get that unsaturated fats, those omega-3 fatty acids from food, get it from food. Try to your best to get it more from food than from supplements. And like I said earlier, Minette, the FDA does not regulate most, if not all, supplements. So companies can pretty much infuse anything they want in them. Not to say that they do, but there is that kind of caveat there, if that makes sense. Kristen, so like branched chain amino acids too, or is that different? What do you mean by that, Kristen? So I can have a better clarification for your question. So yeah, team, just to conclude for the post-workout stuff while Kristen formulates her question, try your best to have a good substantial meal. Try to kind of plan that out, plan your workout so that you have the time so you can have the meal after you work out. But if you're on the go, if you're working a lot, if you're working late, a nice protein shake, the protein powder with some maybe either water or milk, and some vegetables and fruits, maybe even if some peanut butter like we discussed last time, that would be a good nice kind of meal to like quasi meal to hold you off until you can have a nice substantial meal to eat. And the thing is there's a window, right? There's the verdict is still kind of out there, but the rough estimate of the window is if we want to get, if we do like resistance training or even aerobic training, after that, we want to make sure we get that lean protein in our body within about 30 minutes to roughly like 90 minutes after we work out, so that it can be utilized as effectively as possible to repair that muscle. Okay, if our body does not get it from food, it's going to get it from elsewhere. Okay, that those processes are going to get it from protein within our body itself. And like we discussed, branched chain amino acids, our body doesn't naturally produce it, and it doesn't naturally, use it from a different source in our body. So we have to get it from food in order to repair those muscles that we worked out. Yeah, so Kristen, the powder branched chain amino acids are, they're similar. Yeah, it's like, companies will promote that. They'll preach it out like, oh, get your branched chain amino acids, for pre-workout. Like, while yeah, that's great and all. Again, those companies aren't being regulated for for their components, so they could have something else in there. We don't know. I'm not saying they do, again, but it could potentially have extra additives that our body might not like. But you're going to get those branched chain amino acids from the foods, from those, lean proteins like we discussed. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Manette. I appreciate you, and you're awesome as well. So yeah, team, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me in regards to this. You guys know I'm an open book, and I will give you my best educated, answer for any type of nutrition or fitness related questions. So if you have any other questions after I stop the stream, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to help you guys out. All right, that's why I'm doing these segments. Correct, Kristen. Yeah, so if you're eating balanced diets, if you're having those 3 meals throughout the day, and each meal has a good a protein source, you're going to get those branched chain amino acids that will be utilized, during your workout, as well as during the repair processes after. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, so again, I'm probably going to put this on a shirt, but for the Jazzy Squad. But we want to get the stuff from food. We want to get all these nutrients from food. Okay, but if you feel like, if you're a bodybuilder, right? If you're about to do like a big event or big sporting event, then that's when kind of the supplements kind of come in to get that extra boost. But correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the Jazzy Squad is just here for to feel good and to look good. So for everybody, each unique standards that you guys have. So you're gonna just get it from food. Pretty much just get it from natural sources, from your food, as best as you can. Okay, because most supplements are just kind of money pumping schemes. All right, team. Oh yeah, by the way, a new batch of shirts are coming thanks to Javier. Exactly, that's right, Kristen. Yeah, so you don't need to. Again, most of that stuff is just, most of those supplements are just just the companies and corporations trying to, it's a cash grab, manipulating the minds of the fitness industry to sell the product. All right, Alexa's in the chat, so I'm going to tease her a little bit, but Beachbody, she does Beachbody, and Beachbody is great. They have good workout segments and all that, but their main product, Kristen, you've done Beachbody too. Their main product, they have supplements, they have those meals, right? So they're trying to sell the product, right? Whereas I'm the guy here that's just trying to make sure people are eating well and exercising well. All right, squad. All right, team. I know this was 30 minutes. It was a little bit longer than expected, but hopefully it was a lot of information that you can utilize on your own. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, team. Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Take care. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Remember, if you have any questions from everything that we discussed today, please don't hesitate to reach out. All right, squad. Take care. I'll see some of you soon. Peace.